Hey, happy Saturday. I forgot to start my music. I'm going to need that. So, this week was the Spark Summit. So, I've got lots of thoughts around that I've been sharing throughout the week on this channel. The recordings are available on the Mixer page and also the Vorum, Vimeo, and YouTube page. So, if you want to see some of the new stuff coming up, check that out. I haven't gotten any of my private preview requests granted yet. So once I do, I'll be sure and do some demos of those new features and what's available there. And then next, not this last Tuesday of the month for the Vorum Databricks user group where I'm doing ML Flow, but the last Tuesday in July, which I think is the 28th. Yeah, the 28th. We'll be doing a huge recap session in the Vorum Databricks user group. And so if you want to see sort of what happened at the summit or what like workshops you should go back and check out, that would be a great opportunity to do so. There was lots of neat stuff coming out of that. So today I want to move on and start talking about our gold zone a little bit, or our sanctioned layer. I think first there's some cleanup that we need to do on a couple of pieces. So, like for instance, we noticed that our views aren't available in Power BI last time, right? And so one of the things that I need to do until that bug gets fixed with the ADLS credential pass-through is go in and recreate some of this logic using mount points instead of the pass-through connection. So we'll look at that. And then the other thing I wanted to do, we sort of talked about how architecturally you want to, if you're using Delta Lake in sort of that bronze, silver, and gold layer like we are, then it's kind of crucial to think about the semantics of the pipelines between those tables. And, we don't have a lot of data. But we still need to probably think through how we can grow this out and what best practices are, right? And so what I've been recommending and using in my own projects is to use structured streaming to pass that data through. And so what we'd be doing is essentially streaming from each of the delta tables. If you think about it, I kind of wish I had a whiteboard. Maybe I'll have to add that behind me for next time. You've got your untapped API coming into raw, right? And then raw is being read into, I think we're up to 8 different intermediate tables, right? Well, the sanction zone is going to be similar in the sense that it's another level of abstraction up. And so it could be, you could have one view that's pulling in from a multitude of delta tables. And unlike raw, where they're all coming from the same one, like you sort of get that pattern, right? And so we'll set that up and we'll start thinking about how to use caching and some of the other tools available in Delta and in structured streaming to have sort of that best possible practices pipeline. So we'll be looking at that stuff. I think I'm going to go ahead and dive into the mounting logic first. So I think back in episode 1 or so, we had, episode 1. We had decided to go ahead and do it via the the credential pass-through approach instead. So I'm going to kind of just reverse that. So let's see. Okay, yeah, this I think was it. So So over here in our functions, I'm going to go ahead and make a knit or mount notebook. Now this we only are going to need to run the one time. Okay, so then all that should be fine. So this was some of the code we were working with when we were having trouble doing the mounts. So let's run this. Okay, and we'll want to run okay. Okay. Okay, it's already mounted. Okay. So really all we're going to need to do is just change the paths. So what we do in this case is and actually let me just show this, because you never know who's seen what from our streams. So in our lake, within our storage container, in the query zone, we have the Parquet file for the table and the delta log. That's what makes it a delta table, right? So now that we're already mounted, if we came over, let's go ahead and make an episode 5. Okay, and then as always, we want to integrate this with Git. Okay, and so now if we were to do, I think we already have the command over here. Okay, I always see that. Okay. So we can see we have a folder called default, right? And that's, again, the name of our container. And so if we go back through, okay, and there's our raw data. So one of the other things I want to do, so let me actually, I should probably finish my thought. So all we're going to need to do is in this initialize notebook, because I was trying to find an example of where we're actually using this. So like this base path, it gets defined as a parameter from here. So if we change it here, since none of it's hard coded, then we're able to go ahead and inherit that into the rest of the notebooks. So we'll go ahead and do that. And so if I go back over to here. And so it's going to be so we don't need that, or maybe actually we do. 1 second, let's see. Okay, so yeah, so the lake name we already provided as part of the token, so that's fine. We don't need that, and we don't really need default either. At least I don't think so, because that's going to be our mount path. And we can always go back and industrialize that later if needed. Okay. So if we go ahead and register this, let me make sure it can run. Okay, so that looks good. I am going to reset my cluster and turn off the pass-through just to make sure that we're not mixing streams there. Okay. So now that we've got that taken care of, what I wanted to actually do was start creating some pipeline notebooks. We'll call these stages. I meant to create a folder. Oh well. And so the point of doing this is so that we can basically take the code from the different episodes and instead have it run in isolation, like on its own. Take all the good parts. So stages, and then we'll need one for bronze. Otherwise known as your raw zone. Okay, and so we're gonna do our imports. And actually what I'm gonna do, I think I'm just gonna clone this as bronze and then clean out the junk. I think I prefer that. Okay, so we'll call this bronze. Okay, so we need imports, requests, configuration. We need the utils. And let's see. That still looks good to me. We don't need this. Oh, speaking of 363 check-ins, I did figure out what the deal is with our request limit. So basically, we're looking this up as a username. We're not looking it up as my user. So apparently what you need to do is get a SAS token created, like set up some sort of web endpoint for authentication. So I might show how to do that in the future. It's kind of outside of scope, and we're setting up a lot of this to where if I come in and ingest all the data later, it's just going to get upserted. It's not like that's a problem to do. So I'm not going to make it a priority. Okay, and we need this. Okay, so that worked. So this is one thing that I do want to change. So we'll do that in the episode 5 notebook. So if you looked over at our lake, within raw, we've got our JSON data, and then we're writing a table called untapped. And I think that instead we should just read it in from raw. So I'm going to do that instead. So I'm going to want this piece of code for later. Okay, so over here we can say okay, so we'll do a drop of that table. And so we're also going to have to, and I'll show you, but after we run this, it's not going to delete the files in the data lake. It's just dropping the registration within Spark. So if we do this, that's fine. Oh, crap. We did this. We had this issue last time too. Okay. So we're actually going to need to drop almost all of these. That's fine. I forgot that it's technically registered through the credential pass-through. So we'll turn that back on, drop all of our tables, and then set up the proper tables. And then we'll have a more resilient setup process. Okay. So we'll wait for that. Oh man, if I only I had the money to just have a cluster pool all the time. Come on. Okay, so that worked. Now, under our query zone, we've got all these tables now. I'm going to just drop them, and then we're going to recreate them with the pointed to the mount path. And again, this sucks. This is all just so that we can connect to Power BI. In the future, I would probably still highly consider just using ADLS pass-through, but here we are. Oh, and we'll make this recursive. Do I not know how to spell recursive anymore? Cool. So if we came over here, cleaned out. Wonderful. So the bronze we're happy with. It's just going to put a raw file in there. And we can run that all the way through. And then next, episode 2. So we'll clone this one. Where's my stages folder? I need to refresh the page. So we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. We're instead going to use that code snippet. Because there's no reason to manage a delta table for that. Okay, now we're going to have to make an untapped okay, and I need to check if we already imported date information. Yep, sure enough. So if we, where's my silver? Okay, there we go. So if we've imported that and we print, okay, okay. And I think over here in bronze, yeah. I knew I'd already written that code somewhere. Okay, so then so we had not written this out from memory and onto the data lake. Okay. Oh, we reset the cluster. Okay. So we can only get a certain number of requests per minute here, or sorry, per hour. So if we, yeah, if we just move that file into the right spot, let's see. Maybe this will work. Let's see. Oh, we did need total check-ins. Crap. That's what happens when you don't look at this stuff for forever. And really, this is kind of a waste. So if you think about it, you know, we're wasting one request on getting your number of check-ins. So if we did, well, I guess it's a different path. So this is info versus check-ins. Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm still not, I don't know that I trust that. Okay, so let's go grab that file and upload it ourselves. And then it's the 27th. Okay. Okay, now if we go over to silver, and at some point, I'm actually going to make a note of this. At some point, I want to add some integrity checks here. So like, you know, in a perfect world, we should probably be using a schema as well. And if it doesn't fit the schema, then we would reject it, right? And so I might show how to do that. And if anyone watching this has a certain preference or priority on what features or topics they'd like to see covered, as always, you're welcome to shoot me a request. Okay, so we read that in now. And so that's all good. And then I kind of hate the badges flattening logic, but we'll just have to live. This is the stuff I was doing before we introduced the utility functions to flatten JSON. So it's a lot of nasty code. Okay. I was just making sure I remembered my formatting. So I'll do nice. Okay, there we go. And so then we were up to this point. So really we just need to start bringing in all of these. I do kind of wish that you could copy multiple cells at once, but oh well. I'm actually gonna side by side this, because this is gonna be kind of brutal. Come on. I know there's a hotkey for this, but come on. It's not like multiple monitors are the rarest thing in the world. But this is not a Windows complaint podcast. This is, or not podcast, live stream. So I'll shut my mouth. Okay, so we want to copy over beer. Well, that sucks. Okay, so I think we called this something different here. Yeah, untapped base query path. And really that I like that better anyway. So to replace this. We'll run this. Incompatible format detected. Okay. Oh, okay. Shit. I almost forgot. Thankfully, Delta enforces all this for us. We need a badges there. Otherwise, it's going to try and write into an existing folder. That could have been bad. Okay, and that's already registered. So then we're going to do beer as well. Okay, cool. Okay, and so then this we don't need. Okay. Okay. Maybe we just changed the name. Okay. So I assume that's all okay, and then we'll register this. Do. Okay, so we'll not do user. Okay, cool. And before I forget, I want to register this too. Okay. So that's good. And then if we do episode 4, okay, we need to add, okay, we've already got all that defined. We're also going to go ahead and do our, I think, no, we're doing the inputs in the functions library, so I don't think we need that. I don't need that. Wait, we did badges, beer, brewery, comments, media, source. Huh. Okay. I guess I'll have to take. So we have badges, beer, brewery, comments, access, media, source. I feel like we're missing a table. Just don't ask me which one. Actually, okay, I think I see what the problem might be. I think we might have gotten ahead of ourselves. So this runs and it's registering to our query path. But if I were to take, the beer table, I'm curious to see if we'd actually be able to still drop it. Okay, so that worked. So I'm going to drop everything. And then we're going to re-register it and turn off ADLS. Let's think about how we can do this programmatically. So that's gonna get grumpy. So if we do, let's see. Where did Sublime go? Oh, it's stuck behind my media player, of course. Okay, so we want to copy this and then also replace it. We'll do it with that. There we go. And now we've got a nice little Python list. Oh, I forgot the quotes. Okay. Let's redo that. I was so proud of myself and everything. Okay, so we need a quote. A quote, a comma, and then a quote. There we go. Okay. I'm actually going to do one more thing, just to make this a little cleaner. Okay, and then in here, and who knows, I think there's even a way to like register it with a different file location, but this is going to be easy enough. So let's run this. Okay, so that works. And then, so for we want to do spark.sql, and then we'll do a drop. Oh, actually, I don't need to do the try. I just need to remove badges and beer. So this will clear out our Hive meta store and all those tables. Okay, so that works. Okay, so now we can go through. So if we run this, we shouldn't have any registered tables. Okay, so now Let's just run this guy top to bottom. Okay, and then let's do it's not describe. I think it the details. Let's see. Or we want Spark SQL. Show table properties. Okay. Actually, I don't think that's right, but we'll see if it gets this close. So I just want to see what location is registered with this so that we can know it's with the mount. Yeah, okay, so that's not what I want. No, it's not show table. I don't think that's it either. Maybe it's analyze. I think it's analyze. No, that's the query statistics. And then column statistics. Explain maybe. Yeah, we don't need the metadata. I really just want the location. Why can I not remember what that is? Wonder if this will have it. We can test it the slow way otherwise. Now I kind of, I'm really curious about what that command was. Create a managed table, replace table contents. Yeah, it's none of that stuff. That's so weird. Yeah, I really thought it was show details. No, we don't need that. So if we go over here to data, though, yeah, even that doesn't show. Okay. Where did our, oh, there we go. So if we run this, some of those tables shouldn't be in there either. Because we deleted everything. So I'm going to do that again. Just going to do it the lazy way this time. I was trying to think if there was a way to actually ingest the show tables command and then deal with it that way. So beer brewery, oh, comments needs to stay in. Yeah, beer brewery comments, and then media needs to stay in. Source. Brewery media source. Toasts can go. It's behaving very weird. I think it's because we got ahead of ourselves running that Silver Zone notebook before I took off the ADLS pass-through. But oh well, so be it. Okay, so media is still in there. Source and untapped badges. Okay, cool. So now we'll just turn off the cluster. Turn off the ADL pass-through, I mean. And I think the problem I was having is I wasn't looking at Delta Lake stuff. I was looking at Spark SQL stuff. So let me see if over here. Introductory ingest. Okay, let's see if that's it. So the describe history isn't quite it, but we're getting closer. Oh, it's describe detail. Nice. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like. Cool. Okay, once our cluster is back up. Okay, so we're back. Oh, command 5. What's up with command 5? What? Oh, we didn't do the mount, I don't think. Okay, so let's. Okay. It's always nice to have an adventure. Okay. Azure Data Lake. Oh, this is for the. I don't know why it hates us. So we're not specifying that scheme. Okay, let's see. Okay. So I think the more I think about it, that might be because of my using the token instead of the ADO. Okay. So if we look at the mount path, and then if we look at the issue in question, the raw path is taking the base path. Okay, so that all looks good. And why can't it find my token? Okay, so let's think through this. So why can I... Okay, so if we do default slash raw and then slash 2020 06 27. Okay, so now it decides it's unhappy too. Good. Okay, let's go back to episode 1 and grab our unmount script. This would be a lot easier too if I could just have a service account. If we go... So the base path is defined. I'm going to try restarting the cluster and then look up the way to remove that mount, because this is all the config we need. So this is using pass-through to mount. That might be the problem. So base path and storage key. Let's try this. I'm gonna look this up while I reset this, and actually I always forget, or Spark, I always forget what the no, this is Databricks. I always forget what the exact command is for that. There might be our issue. Well, let's see if we can use this. Okay, so this is unmounted. So let's try this. I think so. We're running 7.0. I'm also going to try running the older version to potentially get around this mount issue. Yeah, because this was all like we were able to do this early on. Okay, let's do this instead. So I'm not going to fix the credential issue, but I am going to convert all the code to using the mount file path that we talked about instead of using the native ADLS. So that's sort of an in-between, and then I'll investigate more about that service account. At the end of the day, this is only for Power BI, and there's still plenty of stuff that I'd like to do without Power BI. If I get a redash, preview access, then I don't even know that I necessarily care about Power BI. Okay, let's see. Oh, and actually I want to look up this error too, because I bet it's exactly what we suspected. Well, that's what you want to see. Huh. Okay, we'll check it out later. So now our cluster is running. So now we can remount. Okay, so that's just lovely. Wish we hadn't run the unmount, because now it's not just the token. We can't get it back at all. So we'll have to, I don't know why I just reran that. We'll have to try that downgrade like I talked about. And honestly, this is good. I'm glad they're making it more secure, but for demos, it's kind of painful to do Azure Active Directory pass-through. So I want to see if I even have access to AD through my sub. So if I go to, actually, I guess it's right there. Yeah, it's for my company. It's not going to be on an individual basis. So I might poke around in here over on another monitor while we wait on that, but that's not going to be an ad hoc simple thing to go ahead and add. So we'll have to play around with that. What I don't understand is why it worked initially, but not now. so we did do that. Okay. Okay, so let's see if this is ready yet. Seems like it's getting close. Okay, so that's ready. So we can then go back. Let's see what's going on in that parameters notebook again, just in case. Hopefully no one's still watching this. I know this is a little bit boring, but I need to get to the bottom of it. dbfs/mount/default. Oh, the source needs, okay. Okay, I have an idea, I think. No, we're using parameters here too. Let's make sure. No, not episode 1. Okay. Okay, let's try this. If this is it, I'm going to feel like an idiot, and it wouldn't be the first time in my life. Okay. Okay, let's call this. Okay. Okay, confirmed that I just wasn't paying attention. Anyway, so now we've got this broken out. The problem was we were defining a base path. So previously, this was the base path for everything, and that's why it's called ADLS pass-through. We're passing through directly into data lake. The mount, we're actually accessing it through the Databricks file system, which is handling the connection over to data lake, and that's also the reason it would work for Power BI. But at least we all got to share that lovely experience together. So now we'll try running Silver again. Draft badges, query path. Oh yeah, we changed this. Cool. So now if we go back to our episode 5, and we do a show table. Cool. So now we're going to add in episode 4, which we started on, I know, like 17 hours ago. But here we are, and I've still got some stuff I want to add feature-wise too. So we might split this into 2 videos, who knows. Oh, we do need to import that stuff. Okay. So this is this is one of those things. I wish there was like a table merge or something. I don't know who's ever messed with Jupyter, but they're, similarly to Databricks, you could manually edit the code, but I always feel like it doesn't recompile as well. So if we do okay, and then our primary. What I kind of wish is that with Untapped you could get like the most recent 300 instead of the first 300, because then we could just set this up to do on upserts. But you'll see what I'm about to do here. Okay, so well, that's great. I can't believe I did that again. Okay, that's fine. We'll do. That would help to have. And then we'll rerun this. I guess we need our data frame too. Okay, I'm gonna move this into episode 5 just to be consistent. So these are going to fail because we already dropped it. But I'm putting it in just again to show what we did in this episode. I know it gets kind of scattered. And then I don't think we have, we don't have the DF defined, so we'll do that. And then we'll also register the functions. Okay, that's fine. I need to make a template notebook too. Just so when I want to like clone a new working notebook, it has all these utilities and parameters already in it. Avoid some typing. But this is fine. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Badges flat clean, badges. Okay, let's go in here. Grab, print the functions. Okay, so we're going to just clear out that folder. I don't know why it's unhappy, but we'll make it work. So So if we do dbutils, there we go. So it must have just gotten some junk name data from that misnamed column. Actually, I did not want to delete that, but oh well. That's fine. This is really what we needed to run anyway. Okay, so then the only other thing we had from episode 4 is we already did toasts. And then that ran, and then we had visualizations. Okay, so that's all good. I need to grab some more water, and then oh nice, we've got some viewers. What's up, Trevor? Okay, so I'm gonna grab some water, and then so all these pipelines where we're reading from these data frames, we're gonna do it using we're going to convert it over to do read streams instead. So we'll take a look at that. All right, I'm back. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So really, it's the same as anything else with Delta. You're just telling it the format, and then you do a read stream. And so we'll set this aside for now. And then if we go over into episode 5, okay. So if we do something like df equals, and then we load one of those paths that we've created. Let me pull one up. I guess it's actually just like, we could use badges as an example. Why not? So now we have a streaming data frame. And you can tell if you do type of df. And see, it's just a data frame, but there's some streaming semantics there. And so what we want to do is start converting some of our logic over to this instead. So since we already have, where was it? Yeah, since we already have badges, we'll use that as an example. Okay, so interesting. Okay, so now I'm reconsidering making that raw delta table, because then we could read in from it. I might address that later. So we'll talk about this like we're doing gold zone, because we can always go back. That one is probably less compelling to do the conversion on, because again, we're reading multiple tables from the same table. When we have a mix, that's kind of where this becomes helpful. So I'll call this df badges. And if we do a display, because if you do df show here, it's streaming, right? So that's not going to work. So we need to do a display. Well, that's funny. I say it's funny. I think it's not very funny at all, but okay, so why? So that's really interesting. So I wonder if the credential pass-through doesn't work for structured streaming either. Oh yeah, I also want to convert this back to 7. Yeah, that should work fine. Let's see. Okay, so you can't use jobs anyway, and that's what I was going to do next. And I'll go ahead and show you what that was going to look like. Looks like we need to do some more research before next time, so be it. But basically, we're going to start writing streams to start creating our gold zone. And then with the bronze and silver zone notebooks, we can start updating our data automatically. Doesn't need any dependent libraries. I'm going to have it run every week and get us some nice fresh data for these sessions. Cool. Then of this run every week as well. And we'll do Saturday at like, 8. Give the other one time to run. Not that it's going to take an hour, but okay. So now we got some jobs running. We're starting to get a pipeline built out. So next time we'll have to resolve that ADLS Gen 2 pass-through issue finally. I don't think we can keep relying on it for what we're doing. It's just getting a little bit too on the edge. So we'll address that and see what's happening. But thanks for tuning in, or if you're watching this later, thanks for watching. I will catch you next Saturday.